And I am live. What is up? I am Rebecca, and you are watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for another live stream. Yay! I'm calling it a win that I was able to get here, I think, for the third straight week in a row. Gosh, is this what school age kids reseller life is like? It's glorious, I have to tell you. For those that maybe are new here and catching me for the first time, I'll just say real quick and then we'll jump into the content. Geo is 5 and he's been home with me, and then he did part-time school, and in the middle of doing part-time school, we had a pandemic and I had to bring him home and do his homeschool, just like tons of other moms. But he was still little, and so it really put a monkey wrench in the little systems and schedule and everything that I had for myself. And now he is in 5 full days a week to, make up for the beginning of the school year that he missed. And man, this is my first taste of having a full day to work, and it is wonderful for a person like me that just wants to work all the time. But it does, it is nice then when he comes home, I don't have to feel like I have all these work things to do. I get to, play with him more and be more focused instead of being like half and half. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I usually do with these lives for those that are popping in is I don't do all the cutesy wootsy hello and stuff like that, but I would love for you to say hi, chat with each other in the chat. I'm going to jump into today's content, and then we can open it all up for discussion, and then I will attend to the chat because I am mindful of the people that do watch the replay and just kind of maybe want to get the tips and aren't necessarily interested in all of the cutesy wootsy stuff. So I will do all of that, but in a little bit. Let's start with today's content, which I thought is an interesting topic. A couple things I wanted to share. I made a list of 17 tips and tricks that I have learned along the way after almost 5 years in reselling. And you may know some of these, you may not know some of these, depending on where you're at in your reselling journey. So I thought I'd mention them all, and then we can just talk about them. And if you have tips and tricks that you have learned along the way or have questions about anything that I go over, drop them in the chat and we will get to all of it. So, the first thing is where to find Lululemon size dots. Now, I will admit I am not an expert at this, but there are several resellers in the Instagram community that do put out a lot of really good content about Lululemon, spotting fakes, how to find the size dots, how to read the size dots. One of them that comes to mind is North Coast Style. She does a lot of really good Lululemon content on her Instagram. And I think just knowing where to look for the size dots and persistently looking for the size dots is something that I've learned to pick up along the way. Like in the beginning, I'd look in a few places and I'd be like, okay, I guess I can't find it. I guess I don't have the size dot, whatever. Also knowing that some items don't have a size dot. And so there's that. But there's a lot of Google information that you can find. Like if you just Google Lululemon tips and tricks or information, there's a lot of great blogs that talk about it. And then, like I said, on Instagram, there's several people in the Instagram community that talk about it as well. So for me, I'm not an expert. This is actually on my list of things to continue learning about because I like selling Lululemon and it does, do well. So I think knowing that it's, inside the little pocket here, if it has something with a sports bra, knowing that it's inside the little like key pocket or whatever kind of pocket they call it at the waistband, knowing that there's, certain kinds of numbers, like for their style numbers, it goes in a certain way. And like I said, I don't know all of it, but it's an area where I'm learning about more. And I think it might be something that if you just put a little Google search into it, you might find out some really great information that would help you with that brand. The other thing I noted, because I just had this come up yesterday when I was taking pictures, is that when you measure items, you kind of get an idea over time about what size is how many inches, let's say, of armpit to armpit. Like most of the time, we can all agree that a size large is going to be roughly around 20 inches armpit to armpit. That's pretty standard. Perhaps an extra large is going to be 22. Perhaps a medium is going to be like 18. And so if you get an item that's size small and you measure it and it's 20 inches armpit to armpit, that could be something that is a style oversized. And oversized can be a keyword that people are searching for. They may want an oversized comfy sweatshirt or sweater. And so you can now put that in your listing because when you measured it, you knew that 20 inches armpit to armpit is kind of large for a small. And so now I can call it oversized. So that's just an example. There's a lot of things like that. Perhaps getting a feel for how long certain items are and knowing whether it's a midi or knee length or maxi. These are just things that you pick up over time. And so I thought I would mention it. So oversized for a small being 20 inches was something that kind of happened to me yesterday, and I thought that might be cool. Another one is which brands have their fabric and care tags where. So this saves a lot of time when you're taking photos of your tags for items. If you know that, let's say, a loft piece, the fabric and care tag is on the left-hand side when you're facing, like I'm looking at my rack right now, my hanging hook. When I'm looking at the item, it's on the left instead of on the right. So you don't need to go fumble for the right and then say, oh, it's not there. Oh, maybe it's on the left. Or like if you have a pair of Eileen Fisher pants and you don't see a fabric or care tag anywhere around the waistband or the side of the hip, check the bottom of the leg opening. It could be at the ankle. And so for a long time, I didn't know that they were there. And so I just thought that it didn't have a fabric or care tag. And I don't know what made me decide to look at the bottom. Maybe I completely took them inside out. I don't remember. And then I found out, oh my God, it's at the ankle. So this could just be me in one of those, I call them like genius or idiot moments where it's like, I don't know if I'm a genius that I figured that out or I'm an idiot because I didn't figure it out until now. But I have those moments all the time. So knowing which brands have their fabric and care tags where. Then another one kind of along those lines, which brands are easy to find style names and stock photos for? So I made a little list. For me, I love selling White House Black Market and Chico's because one, they're connected. I don't know if you knew that, but they're like, there's a parent company or something. And they both have either the 450 number or the 570 number. I think now it's more the 570 number. And you can easily find those style names and stock photos usually by looking up that number. And so by not fiddling with all the different kinds of numbers that you may find on a tag, and you go specifically to the one that does yield the stock photo, and which brands have that easy ability, and you know that it's an efficient process, it's worth your time to search that stock photo number because you will inevitably find that stock photo. I think that's worth it. Like there's some brands that I just don't really bother trying to find it, or I only spend like a minute or two based on a keyword search. Whereas some stock photos, I know if I put in the 570 number, I'll find that White House Black Market item. I know that if I put in the Torrid style number, I will find that item. I know if I put in the Athleta style number, I'll find that item. Same for J. Crew and Free People as well with the OB number. So I feel like if you kind of over time learn those sorts of tips and tricks, you'll know where to spend your time and where not to spend your time. Moving on. Getting deodorant out. So this is not something that I used to know, but I've never been a big like stain remover person. I try not to buy things with any of that needing attention because I don't have the patience to do all that cleaning and mending and what have you. But deodorant in the beginning was something that would prevent me from buying something, and now it's not. I found, and I should have had them ready, but of course I didn't, these little things on Amazon. I found out about them from Common Tags. It's called Skid Out, and they're just these little like foamy circles. And you can easily get the deodorant out, or sometimes even other stains. If it's like something that's like kind of caked on, it's not really a stain, but it's like caked on a little bit. You can get it out just by rubbing it really quickly. Also, sometimes they say if you just rub two pieces of the material together, that will happen. I've never had really good luck with that. But I like that Skid Out. I have an Amazon link to it. Should be in the description of the video, or it's in my Amazon store if you go to that link. And that's really inexpensive and super helpful. So getting deodorant out now is something that I do try to do where before I didn't. And I do think that that's, kind of worth it. The other thing I had for this list as a tip and trick was editing your photos. Now, I think there are a lot of resellers that have been doing this a while that do edit their photos, whether it's just brightening, whether they're removing the background, doing various things. But I think a lot of new people don't know to do that. And I do think that that is worth your time. I think it's a tip that is worth doing as early on as possible to help your items sell and help them look better among the other items on Poshmark or eBay or Mercari or wherever you're selling. So editing photos and finding a good photo editing app, I think, is a really big up-leveling tip or trick that you could do very easily from the get-go. So I definitely think that that's worth doing. Also, getting the white background, if you do it with like photo room or things like that, I think that's great. I don't have the patience all the time to do photo room, so I like that I have my Arctic white seamless photo backdrop paper, and I have a video specifically about it, and it is linked in my Amazon store if you want to find the exact one, because I don't have a white wall and I didn't want to do flat lays with the foam core. And so for me, doing this white backdrop just makes a nice clean spot for my photo setup, and it's just there, and I have my hook and all of that stuff, and I just find that it works really well. And I wish I had done that earlier. I wish I didn't waste a lot of time with flat lays and all that kind of thing, or removing the background, but just starting with a nice white background to begin with. Next one, I don't actually do this, but I have seen a lot of people and I could see how this would be good. Painting just your thumbnail with nail polish for the photos of the tags. So when you're taking pictures of the tags, people are self-conscious, me included, about, how our nails look. Because especially now, I'm not going to the nail salon. And the reason why I don't do the nail polish is because I'm a terrible nail polisher, number one. Number two, I don't want just one done. And I'm just going to wait it out till I can go and get my pink and white acrylics because I miss that. But a lot of people I have seen, and they've posted it on Instagram, that they just do their thumbnail. And I think that's awesome and a super cool hack that if you want it to look a little bit nicer in your photos, that you could do that. The next one I think I'm halfway through. Photo measurements forms. So I recently released a video. This is kind of like my latest craze hack that I've come up with for myself, is having a photo ready measurements form. Mine looks like this, and I have them available to purchase and download in my Etsy store if you don't want to make it yourself, though you certainly could. And I have a whole video that I put up the other day about how I use them, exactly how it saves me time, exactly how it saves a lot of effort and energy, not only in the photo process, but in the listing process, and how it actually helps my items get found in more searches. I'm not going to waste all your time with that here because you may have already watched that video or whatever. So if you want to see that, check out that video. It's called Photo Ready Measurements Forms Demo. And the link is in my Etsy store. So that is really a big hack, time saver, business helper for me, like lately. I'm really super excited about having figured that out. Next is the keywords lists and style guides. So I am partial. I do have a keywords list in my Etsy store available for purchase, but that's not why I'm bringing it up. I'm really more about whatever keywords list, whether you make it for yourself, whether you have style guides that you find on Pinterest or on Instagram, something that triggers you to add certain categories of keywords to your listings. I have a client that I work with on a regular basis. It's not coaching. I don't like to call it coaching, but we call it reseller chats here at Rebecca the Reseller, where we have a weekly call. We talked about this, because she said that she struggles as a new reseller with the time it takes her to make a listing from start to finish. And I think a lot of it is muscle memory of being able to draw on keywords in your mind that are applicable to the item you're working on without having to do a lot of research and guesswork. When I do a listing, and I'm not an expert, but I have a lot of keywords in my head now. I've done a lot of shift dress. I've done a lot of, shawl collars and midi things and waterfall cardigans and all this stuff. I have keywords in my mind. But when you're newer, you may not have that. Or if that's something that you struggle with, you may want to have a cheat sheet. There's nothing wrong with having a cheat sheet that you can refer to and say, is this on it? Is this not on it? Is this does this apply to my item? Doesn't it? So whether it's my keywords list or somebody else's keywords list or one that you develop for yourself or a style guide, use those to your advantage to help you list faster and challenge yourself to, learn a new keyword a week or something like that. I mean, Geo is learning all his sight words, right? Like maybe we need to have, sight words for keywords for fashion resellers. But, it's never too late, too early to stop learning. I don't know. Is it too late to learn, too early to learn, whatever, but you know what I'm saying. And then the other thing along kind of keywords is style words like boho or retro. So there are words, and I do think I talked about this in my keywords video, which I did a while ago, which is like boho. That's a style. It's not necessarily something that is like, it's not the collar, it's not the neckline, it's not the sleeve length, it's not the fabric. It's a style. It's something that applies to the item as a whole, that you could be forgetting those kinds of keywords that people may be looking for, that, when you just look at this item hanging there on on the hook and you're, going to do your keywords, you may not automatically think of a style keyword. You might only be looking very literally at the length, the sleeve length, the neckline, the waistline, all that stuff. So think about things in terms of style also. Checking buttons for brand names on denim. This was not my hack. I learned this hack from Mogi Beth. So let's give credit where credit is due. And when she said it, I was like, genius girl. So looking through the rack of denim, and I don't frequent jeans as much as I probably should. I don't really love selling jeans, but there's money to be made there. And a lot of people do love selling jeans, and you can go faster through the rack by looking at the button and it having the name, or maybe the tags are missing, and now you can look at the hardware and see the name written on the buttons, or whether it's a denim jacket or jeans or whatever. Look at the buttons and it will tell you the brand name if it's a better brand, because it's going to have it written in the buttons. And I just thought that was genius and something I learned along the way. Picked it up from another reseller. How to feel cashmere. So, I mean, every once in a while you can get fooled by acrylic, but I think knowing how cashmere feels can help you in a bins situation. I like to run my hand across the top of a sweater section, and when I get to something that feels like cashmere, I can look at it more in detail instead of pulling through every single item and clicking every single hanger on the rack. Especially if it's a really full rack, it's kind of hard to do sometimes. So I just kind of like run my fingers over it, and then I can kind of hit the cashmere. And along those lines, knowing what Angora or mohair, that has a different kind of look. So you could pick those out usually pretty easily on a rack by seeing those, straggly hairs being, coming out of it. I don't know all the wherefores and whyfores on that, but knowing how to spot those things and how to feel those things, I think is something that comes along the way and would be cool. Tacked on tags can be a sign of quality. So this I remember learning very early on from Nicole State. And she talked about it in one of her earlier videos. And I just remember not knowing that, learning that, and then using that as an indicator to determine if something I picked up might be something or not. And is it worth looking up comps for? And it doesn't work every single time. It's not a 100% indicator, but it is a good indicator of a sign of quality. And I actually just had a collaboration with Melissa. I know she's in here. I know I haven't said hi to anybody yet, but I know you're in there, Melissa. And we just actually talked about this on a collaboration. We've got some things coming up, cooking in the works for you. And we actually just talked about this. But I do remember the tacked on tag thing being one of the very first tips and tricks that I learned. And again, one of the very earliest people that I learned from was Nicole State, and watching her videos as a very early reseller. And just knowing that that was like a hack or a tip kind of opened my mind to that there were hacks and tips out there, that was the value of learning from someone else on YouTube and watching their videos and following people on Instagram and kind of being a part of the reseller community. I remember that hack being like an unlock for me and like, oh my God, there's so much I could learn from these people. So, I don't know. I kind of have that in my head as like, just a really interesting thing. Anyway, bring baby wipes to the thrift store. I don't remember if it was the last live that we talked about this or what, or when it was that I brought this up, but bringing baby wipes to the thrift store with you, having it in your purse, stick it in your back pocket, seeing if you can get that stuff off real quick that looks like it's coming off, perhaps it's worth buying so that you can then continue to clean it further at home. But if it's not coming off or not budging or whatever with a baby wipe, and instead of actually doing like this with your finger, which I know we all do, but we probably shouldn't, because we don't know what the heck it is on there. Maybe use a baby wipe instead, and maybe that will help you make the determination of something that you should buy and something that you shouldn't buy. Almost done with the list. I think I ended up with more than 17 on here. Got a couple bonus ones. Pay attention to the rise and your arm length. I think I've talked about this before, but this is worth mentioning. So I didn't actually, let's do it right now. We shall measure my forearm. So from elbow, yep. So from here to here is 11 inches. And this is what I use to check the rise of denim. And if it is this, if from the crotch to the waistline is, this or higher, it's high rise. And if it is lower, it's mid or low rise. And pretty much then I don't pick it up. So I can put my forearm to any pair of jeans or pants or whatever and determine whether or not I want to purchase this pair of pants or leggings or whatever. And that may not work for you. It depends on how long your forearm is. But I do think that, generally people that are probably in the proper proportions, then perhaps that would work. I don't know. But try and see, measure your forearm and see if that works, because that might be something that could help you determine whether or not something is high rise. And at least for now, while that is all the rage, see if that is helpful in determining whether or not to pick something up. I really hope low rise doesn't come back. I mean, I probably have some things in my closet that are low rise that would be great because then they'd sell. But honestly, I really hope low rise does not come back into style. This is an interesting one. It may not apply to all of you, but oddly enough, boutique items can sell on Mercari. And I found this out just by happenstance. You guys know I've developed a Poshmark boutique course based on the tens of thousands of dollars that I have made selling boutique items on Poshmark. But a portion of that I've actually made selling those same exact boutique items on Mercari. And I don't think that that is something that people usually think would be a match. Boutique items, Mercari, they place such a heavy emphasis on what brands are trending and all this kind of thing. I really never thought that they would do well, but when I had my VA way back when, and I had her cross post everything, oddly enough, things would sell. And so when I, during the pandemic, went down to just boutique items on Poshmark, and then all my thrifted stuff went to ThredUp, and now it's, a little different, but I had all my thrifted stuff on ThredUp. I had all my boutique items on Poshmark. I actually cross-posted them to Mercari using Vendoo, and they would sell. And it's really easy to relist and delist items, on Mercari with Vendoo. But also when something sells on Mercari, you can relist another one very easily, which I didn't find out until a little while into it. So you don't even need to go back to Vendoo to create a new listing. You can just do it from Mercari. If you have the same swimsuit, you have multiple of them, there's no way to do multiple quantity listing in Mercari, but you can list it once. When it sells, you can go to the sold and then just list it again with one click of a button. And I thought that was amazing. So it's like a relist, I guess kind of like on eBay. So I didn't know if most people knew that, but I thought that was a great and interesting thing. 3 more left. Set up 2-day eBay sales or Etsy sales for the month in 5 minutes or less. So I did a video on this where I used to set up when I was on eBay, and now I'm on Etsy for my print on demand things and my digital downloads. I would set up sales for every 2 days. That way something was always ending, right? And so it would create urgency potentially with the buyer to buy now because the sale is going to end soon. But instead of actually going in and setting up a sale every 2 days, that was going to be a pain in the neck. I would, at the beginning of the month, set them up for the entire month. And by batch doing it in kind of like a duplicating your tabs assembly line kind of format, you could do it in 5 minutes, and it's super fast. So for those of you that are on eBay, if you're not doing that, that may be something you want to consider as far as if you're running frequent sales, whether you do them for a week, 2 days, 3 days, weekends, whatever, you can batch set up those scheduled sales, if you don't know that. And then for those that do Etsy, if you're not doing that, you can also do that for Etsy as well. Measurement yardstick. So I did talk about this in the video that I did the other day. I don't use a tape measure anymore. I use a yardstick to do all my measurements because I hang everything on my hook over there, and this is super easy to work with. And this was a huge hack, a huge time saver, not having to deal with the tape measure anymore. So if you're not doing this, you may want to try it out. And the last one was something that I don't even really pay attention to, but I asked my sister for some hacks, and she said this one, which I guess then thought was a good one, which is using the RN number to identify Anthropologie brands or Free People or Urban Outfitters. And that RN number is 66170. So for those that don't know, the RN number kind of identifies the companies and not, the items. So you never want to look up an RN number for a stock photo or anything like that. You're only going to ever find the company that it is. So those three companies, Anthro, Free People, and Urban Outfitters, share the RN number 66170. And so if you find a brand that you don't know if it's Anthropologie or whatever, you can look, and if it has that RN number, that would tell you if it was sold at Anthropologie. Now, I've never actually used that hack, but I guess my sister has often, and so she thought that was a good one to add. So that concludes my list of 17 plus things that I've picked up as tips and tricks along the way. I'm going to scroll back up to the beginning of the chat, say hi to everyone, and see what everybody is saying. If you have questions about any of these, if you have your own tips and tricks, I want to hear them. I want everyone to learn. Let's make this super valuable. So there's Vandy's Closet. Hi, Melissa. Good to see you again. Hello, everyone. Megan, Ivanios. Hello. Make me think of Free People. They love to do that. Yeah, and I know that some of these, because I chose to do the chat at the end, is maybe not going to make sense as I'm going through. I apologize, but for me, I just felt really strongly about doing the content first. I've turned many items completely inside out myself. Hate when people cut them off. Yes, I know it is difficult. I mean, if I don't see the material, I will likely tell them, like, I don't know for sure, material tag has been removed. I will say material tag has been removed, likely whatever, and I will put my best guess. So that way I'm not saying it definitely is. So I might say likely a linen blend or likely a wool blend or something like that. So I'm not saying for sure what it is, but I'm kind of still getting that keyword in there that I'm kind of wanting to go after. Let's see. Good info. Alicia Flores says, thank you. Alicia also says, I struggle with taking photos on of black clothing. I also have a photo box and they will still come out awful. I recently realized I can play with the exposure and now they look great. Yes. I mean, that's the thing. There are just so many tips and tricks and hacks that you could learn the hard way yourself over time, or we can keep sharing them and keep telling what we learn and learning and up leveling from each other. So I don't know how you learned that, but I'm glad that you did. And now you know, and you can share it with others. So that's great. Megan says, do you have your photo boxes linked in your vids? So I don't have a photo box. Did I say a photo box? I don't have a photo box. I have a hook on my wall with photo backdrop paper. Actually, can I do this? So that's what I have. This is featured in some of my other videos. This is not vodka, it's water, just so you know. I have a photo backdrop paper, so you could see the white right there difference. So that's the photo backdrop paper. And then I have my two lights. Those are linked in my Amazon store. And then I have a hook on there. And I have a whole video on how I set that up. Like, it's actually the day that I got the photo paper and watching me set it up, which is, kind of funny because I couldn't open the box for a while, but so you can actually set it up really easily. And I definitely think that that was worth the money. So yeah, I don't have a photo box. I don't have a photo box. Beth, hey Beth, how are you? Good to see you again. Got here before you ended. Yay! Vandy's class. Okay, thank you, Vandy. Thank you, Melissa, for kind of helping out with moderating in here. Learn this word, Harrington jacket, men's item. Okay, I don't know about that. That's a good thing to be looking up. I will have to check it out and see what it is. Thanks, Beth. Oh, I'll have to look up that one. It works. Learned it from recently. Ready, set, resell. We'll have to check out that channel. It's a vibe. LOL. It's a vibe. Yes, like the style, the boho. Is that what you're talking about? It's a vibe. I love jeans. Me too. I'm going straight for the men's jeans today. Awesome. Very good. Let's see who else has questions or comments. Go ahead and put them in there, or other tips that you want to share. Even if it's the smallest little thing, I'm all about it. You don't know what you don't know until someone tells you. I would just like to point out that we have like 5 sweaters on the rack at Goodwill here in Miami. No sweaters to be found, Beth. Oh no. Just learned that one from Nicole as well. Yeah, so that was probably the tacked on tag, which we talked about. That was awesome. I will only buy jeans at the bins or yard sales. I just can't move them for much. I mean, I think that jeans are one of those things where it's all about style, perhaps, and washes and the rise and the fit and the keywords that could go along with what you're finding. And so if you're not well versed in jeans, which it is on my list, like the Lululemon size dots and all of that, those are 2 things that are on my list this year to really learn about, is selling jeans better and selling Lululemon better. Those are 2 things that I personally want to get better at this year. And if that's not something that you do for yourself, kind of make a little mini goal of something to learn about, you might consider it, because it kind of gives you something to focus on. You don't have to focus on it all the time immediately, but if you see something that's about jeans on Instagram, then I will save it. Or when I see something from North Coast Style on Lululemon, I save all her posts, because then I can go back to them and learn more. So I do think having kind of little things that you want to kind of focus on to learn is good. Measures forearm. Megan, measures forearm. Do you do the forearm thing? Is that something that you do? Is that what you're saying there? Going to have to rewatch, missed a few. Hi, Shell Zoo Gifts, Michelle's Closet. Nice to see you. Oops, I meant light box. So yeah, the box lights. I have 2. It's ESDDI. They are linked in my Amazon store. Oh, and actually, I'm going to give a little shout out to my email list. If you're not signed up for my email list, go in the link down below. When you sign up, you get a free Poshmark strategies checklist. But I'm going to start resuming regular email content. I'm actually working today on the one that's going to go out on Sunday. Fingers crossed that I actually get it done. And I'm putting together a resources guide with everything that I recommend, all my tools, all my resources, everything in one place that I can share. And that's going to be a free download in that email. So if you guys aren't signed up, you might want to check that out, because that would be another great place to get all of those kinds of things that I have to share. It's hard because I'm on my own website, so I never know where to put things to share with you when I find them. So, but yeah, I have had these lights for maybe 4 years. And then I bought a second set when I had my photographer for her to use. And then now my sister's using them in her posh room, because I don't, need the second one right now, but they work well. They're a little clunky. I wish that I could be a person that liked a ring light, but I bought one before and I reviewed it on my channel and it just wasn't for me. I don't know if I didn't use it right, or I don't know. I like the footprint of it, but I didn't like the pictures from it. So I don't know about that. I measured when you brought that up. So does yours work too? Is yours 11 inches also, Megan? Beth, now here's a question. Fashion bloggers, who do folks follow? They are on Instagram. Yes, I have one style, my own preppy, mature woman. Yeah, I'm not the best style picker. I've admitted that before. I do think that there's lots of people that share on Instagram and YouTube style content. I've just been recently trying to Google. I don't want to find a lot of blogs because honestly, I don't have a lot of time to sit there and read things. So I haven't really looked up Instagram people to follow, but I have watched trends videos, fashion trends videos on YouTube. Now, you could watch 5 fashion trends videos and 3 things will be the same across all of those videos. And then the rest of them will be all different. It's just whatever people choose to pick up on and then report that they think it's a trend or that they saw in one designer's fashion show or whatever. So, I don't follow a lot of it religiously, but I have picked up on some key trends that I've used to influence not only the pre-owned thrifted things that I purchase, but also the boutique things that I purchase, because there are some items that people don't need to have the brand. They don't care about the brand. They're going after style. They don't want to pay a lot of money. They know that it's going to be perhaps a cheaper item, a fast fashion item or whatever. Maybe it's a fad. And so they will be open to buying a boutique item for the right price to hit that trend in their wardrobe. And so there are some things that I have picked up on. Nothing's really coming to mind right now, but that I've picked up on from fashion trend videos on YouTube done by fashion people, not by resellers, and then said, okay, now can I find a boutique item that hits on that trend? One that is coming to mind that I did not purchase items is like biker shorts. Like everybody was talking about biker shorts. They're all the thing. And whoever wears biker shorts, Kim Kardashian or whatever, I mean, you could see, I don't really know. But I thought about purchasing biker shorts as a boutique item and then decided not to do it. So I don't know how they're performing. If seeing that trend on a fashion blogger, trend video, if I had purchased biker shorts for my boutique, if they'd be flying off the shelves, maybe I missed it. I don't know. But I do remember that being a trend that I kept hearing about, but I did not choose to follow through on because I didn't want to be stuck with a bunch of biker shorts. I was not going to wear biker shorts. So I did not purchase those. But I could see how doing that kind of research could help you, decide what to buy when thrifting. I think too, there's certain actually this would be another, there's certain brands like, let's see, J. Crew does it. Banana Republic does it. I think Athleta does it, which therefore maybe Gap then, that it has the date, on the tags of the items. And so you could know how old something is and choose not to pick it up just based on the fact that it's older. I think some brands you could still sell whether or not it's old. So I don't necessarily always go off of that, but I do think that you could choose to look at the brand of I think American Eagle does it too. That you could choose to look at those items and decide not to purchase it based on the date that it includes in the tag. Nike does it, Beth. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, and I guess I don't really pick up a lot of Nike, but again, I'm, Florida. I know that that's a big, like, what is it, Oregon, where it is? Oregon or Wyoming, somewhere. Help me out, Melissa. Where's Nike? Somewhere out there, right? Washington? I don't remember. But yeah, so I think a lot of people, would look at that for Nike. I look at it more for J. Crew. I would say I do pay attention to it for J. Crew, just because that is a pretty popular saturated brand on Poshmark. And so I will still pick up J. Crew, but I do try to find things that are more recent. Yeah, it's Oregon. Yeah, Nicole State lives by the headquarters, Oregon. Yes, Shell Zoo Gifts, Michelle's Closet. Thank you. I knew it was somewhere out there. So yes, okay, so I've caught up with the chat. Those were all of my 17 tips and tricks. So we can continue to talk if everyone has more, tips and tricks they want to share or questions that they have. It doesn't have to be about tips and tricks at this point. You want to tell me how your sales are going. You want to ask about Poshmark. You want to ask about whatever, we can have it kind of be open at this point. Otherwise, I'll give it a minute or so and then we can all go on about our day. I certainly don't want to make it longer than it needs to be. I know the last time, we went for a good period of time, but some topics are going to be more chit-chatty than others. What is selling this week? I don't even know. I will tell you that I had a slow sales week this week for sure. And I won't know till the end and I do my tallies of how things are going. I sold some Reformation jeans. I've sold a bunch of boutique items, some Eileen Fisher, some Athleta. I've sold a lot of boutique items this week, but I will say in general, not a lot of sales for me this week. So we'll see how my what sold video goes this coming week. As far as updates from here, I am going to restart the email list. So if you're not on it, go ahead and check that out down below. Reseller boxes are still available in my second closet. The link is down below. I'm doing what sold videos on Sundays. I'm doing the live on Thursdays. Tuesdays will be another like pre-recorded video. So like, a Poshmark closet review or, tips video or a topic video that I have. And then my 2-year YouTube anniversary, or my tubeversary, if you will, is coming up in February. And so I will be kicking off a brand new series mid-February for that. I'm excited. So hopefully you guys can make it, around mid-February. I'll be doing a live or two that week and kicking off a new series. And that'll be an interview show. I'm really excited because I haven't done an interview show in quite some time. For those that have been watching me a while, you might remember that when I was the Reseller Mom Show, I did Momversations, where we had conversations with other reseller moms. But then I rebranded the channel and, wanted to open it up a little bit more. And so now I'm going to have a different theme, which I'll unveil soon. Let's see. Megan says, who was it that you said knew a lot about Lululemon? North Coast Style. And her first name is escaping me. She was on Momversations. She was a teacher and she's super nice. Here she is, actually. North Coast Style. Amanda. There we go. North Coast Style. She does a lot of Lululemon tips. Alicia says, or Alicia, now that Poshmark has gone public, do you anticipate they will start to hound sellers who use stock photos? I don't know. It's an interesting question. I missed the buying the stock. I'm very upset because I've been crazily waiting for this IPO so I could buy the stock. So I have some money in my investment account waiting to buy the stock when I feel like it's going to be a good price. And I never got the email to do the thing. I got the initial email, but then I never got the second email from the people that were selling the IPO stock. Anyway, I don't know. It could be that they do that. I think it depends. I don't know that it necessarily depends on the fact that they're public or not, but I do think that at some point when they're ready to have that fight, they will figure out that fight, because there's a lot of people that do it. And just because a lot of people do it doesn't make it right. We all know it's wrong, but we all make a calculated decision to participate in it or not. I am one of those people that do, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I will cross that bridge when I come to it. And I don't use it for everything. And obviously I take good photos. So I'm more than happy to use my own photo. And it's not like I don't have my own photos in there. So I'm more than happy to take down the stock photos, when there's something that would incentivize me to do so, or de-incentivize me not to do it. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of wait and see. But I do anticipate that at some point they will, be policing that. I sold swim shorts and wool pants and a men's wool and cashmere sweater, says Beth. Well, see, isn't that perfect? So that's why it's so great for people to list no matter what they have. Just list it. Doesn't matter the season, because you can sell swim shorts and wool and cashmere all in the same week. And it's funny because Beth and I are both Florida people, so we get probably less, wintry stuff, and we have more access to maybe more summery stuff, you would think. But also when we come across the wintry stuff, it's not like people are buying it like crazy because they don't really need it. So people go on vacation and they donate it because they don't need it anymore here. And then we get all this good stuff. So, I mean, I feel like the stuff that we find is good. It's just not as plentiful perhaps as somewhere else. But we do get access to both things, which is great. And I sell both things all the time. I just got a huge influx of swim. I went to the Ross clearance sale. I've been posting about it. So I have a bunch of multiple quantity swimsuits to put up. And I did a huge swap.com order for swimsuits. And so those boxes are over there. So I'm going to have maybe close to 85, I would say, swim listings going up soon. So I'm very excited for that, because then I will be quite stocked. I don't have any other summer stuff. Honestly, I have not bought a lot of shorts, tank tops. Ugh, I don't know what's going to happen this summer. Vandy's Closet. I am excited. Melissa, I am very excited about your series as well. I think it will be really beneficial. Thank you. Well, you will be, let's drop the hint now. You will be one of the people on there. So it's very exciting. We recorded that today. So I'm excited. And again, that will start launching February 14th is technically, I know, Valentine's Day. I started my YouTube channel on a Valentine's Day. How sad. But I don't know if hers will go up that day, but it'll go up sometime in February. Beth, I missed it too. Missed what? The Ross sale? I can't remember. Megan, thumbs up. Oh yeah, guys, if you can like the video, thumbs up. 26 people are here. There's only 12 likes. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. Quick little plug there. I always forget. Right, it is expensive winter wear. Yes. Beth, I used to sell only swimwear back in the late 2000s. Wow, you did only swimwear. Gosh. I mean, I like selling swim. I don't like taking measurements of swim, so I kind of just try to find like similar brands, and then I can put like the size chart up and not have to do measurements if I can help it, because I just find it awkward to do measurements when it's so spandexy. Like, I don't know. It's not my favorite. I really like selling cover-ups and things like that rather than the actual swimsuit. And if I'm going to sell a swimsuit, I like selling one pieces over two pieces for sure. 100%. I'll need to watch your shopping on swap videos, says Melissa. Yeah, I have a few unboxings because in the beginning I really wanted to show people like it's a cool place to buy items. I mean, you have to kind of know what you're looking for. You need to have some patience, but they run sales all the time. They have a great return policy. There's, lots of benefits to it. So, I mean, I've done some serious damage. I've spent thousands of dollars. I wish they had a rewards program like ThreadUp does, because I would be having lots of points right now. Maybe I'll put it in their suggestion box if they have one. I don't know. I really should do like a, I have the referral thing down below. If you use my link to make a purchase, you get 40% off and I get 40% off, like a coupon that I can use. And I do use them, but you do have to keep in mind, like the 40% off coupon, you can't use it if they're already doing a clearance, and you can't use it if it's something that they consider a new arrival, I think is what it doesn't work on. It only new arrivals. So it only works on some stuff. So sometimes I can use my referral reward, sometimes I can't. But either way, 40% is a great discount. But, they should do a sponsorship with me. That would be pretty cool. Maybe I will contact them for that. I haven't really done that many of, I don't know if I've done any of those, like sponsored videos. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? Otherwise, we can say goodbye. Melissa, I know if you sell on Swap, you can get just swap credit for 20% more. Ooh, that's good to know. So yes, Melissa just told me about, a little bit about selling on Swap. It was something I thought I would do, especially for men's things. And then I got impatient and I got kind of freaked out by, they have a lot of stipulations. And so I felt at the time that ThreadUp was easier with less stipulations. Haha. Now they have more stipulations probably, but so I never sold with them, and now they don't have it open to like new sellers. You have to already have sold with them in a certain standing in order to do it. So hopefully Melissa will have more content on her channel. And if you are not subscribed to Melissa's channel, go there and head over Vandy's Closet. She's got some great ThreadUp content. We've got some things coming up. And she's got, good lives and good what's sold. So always good information over there. And I think with that, I will probably say goodbye to everyone unless there's any last minute questions, because what I will do today is finish working on my email content and then go pick up the little Geo from his day at school. Today was a big YouTube day, guys. Like, man, I did 3 videos today. That's a lot. And I have a closet review to do for someone that purchased a closet review, and I need to sit down and, write out all my summary, because they get a written summary and then they get a typed summary and then the video as well. So I do the summary first and then the video. I don't think that's going to end up happening today. It's probably going to be tomorrow. All right, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. I wish everyone a great week full of sales. I would love any likes on this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Comment down below when it's the actual comments portion. I love comments. I read and respond to them all. And if you think of any cool tips and tricks that you want to add, you can definitely place them in those comments. And I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye, Melissa. Bye, Beth. Bye, Megan. Bye, everyone that was here. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye.